Okay, the first thing we're going to do is figure out how to change a whole number into a fraction. So if we have the number 80, it would just turn into 80 over 1. And that would convert our whole number into looking like a fraction, but not changing its value. So same with this one. We have 2. If we just add the fraction line with a 1 underneath it, it looks like 2 over 1. But it still equals 2. Now, if we were going to create a fraction to equal 1, we would just divide the number into itself. Like 80 over 80 is the same as 80 divided by 80. So it'd equal 1. Same with 2 over 2. That fraction line means division. So again, that line, that fraction line equals division. And you might see fractions look a different way. So it might be vertical, 1 over 2, or you might see it slanted. And remember, fractions are also decimal points. So all these 3 numbers are the same value. Letters you might see are per. You might see per, each, and contains. So like this example, 5 diapers per package. That per is signaling that it's a fraction. So there's 5 diapers in 1 package. So that'd look like 5 diapers over package. Now let's go over whole numbers. So there's different number places when we're working with decimals. The way I like to remember is WTH. So W stands for whole numbers, anything in front of the decimal. The first place after the decimal is our 10th place, and then we have our 100th place. Okay, so with like the number 7.23, 7 is our whole number. 2 is our 10th place. And 3 is our 100th place. Okay, this is really important when we start to round. And the reason I do WTH is because usually we're either rounding to whole, 10th, or 100th place in DosCalc. So next with our fractions, we have our numerators and our denominators. So think numerators always on top. Denominators, think demon. So always on bottom. So 1 over 2, 1 is our numerator and 2 is our denominator. Okay, now how to convert decimals into percents. So if you have 0.1, you would just multiply that by 100 and you would get 10%. And 0.75 times 100, you have 75%. 0.075 times 100 equals 7.5%. Okay, and say you don't have a calculator, you don't want to pull it out. You have 2 zeros and 100, so you could just move that decimal place. Okay, and now lastly, we have deciding which decimal is greater, because they can be kind of tricky. So what's important is that you know those different like 10th, 100th, 1000th place. So here where we have 0.01 or 0.1. Okay, so our 0.1 would be bigger because that's 1/10, which is bigger than 100th. 2.3 or 2.0300. Okay, looks bigger, but the 2.3 is larger, again, because that 3 is in the 10th place versus the other number has a 0 in the 10th place. Okay, for this next number, we have 0.730 or 7.30. Again, they look very similar, but in this case, we're going to look at the whole number spot. Okay, 7 is greater than